When anyone always find a new car on the Indian road or into a new showroom, they always really find something very good about it. Like it has good looks, it offers good engine options, great gearbox options, good amount of features, it's very comfortable, spacious, practical and easy to drive. But when it comes to safety, customers always really get to know that this has got a very strong chassis, it offers this much safety features, and also it even feels absolutely secure with a really strong build quality. Does even budget cars offer that strong build quality? No, because these definitely don't even have that strong build quality, and there is only one such car that offers the strongest build quality and scored 4 stars is Tata Tiago. However, other cars which are sold in India have a strong brand value and resale value, but they never really have great safety. And this is something a whole lot of people has to now wake up, because safe cars is what really every Indians wanted. And today in this video, I will be showing you every new cars that has been crash tested and those cars which were crash tested earlier by Global NCAP which has been rated unsafe. And there are 16 cars which has been listed out in the unsafe cars list. So let's take a look. At number 16, we have Ford Aspire, which was launched in 2015 as a compact sedan, and this scored 3 stars in adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. The body shell integrity was rated unstable and wasn't capable of withstanding further load. When it comes to safety, it only came with just 2 airbags and there were no other features at all. It was updated previously and it was coming as standard on all variants. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver and passenger's head and neck was rated good thanks to the airbag. Driver's chest did got weight protection and passenger's chest got marginal protection. The car even does not come with seatbelt protectioners here. The front passenger's knees could even impact with dangerous structures to the dashboard. When it comes to child occupant protection, the child seat for the 3-year-old child was unable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact. The recommended CRS did not show incompatibility, and the instruction of installation on both child seats were insufficient and was not permanently attached to the seat. The vehicle was equipped with passenger airbag, but it could not be disabled in order to prevent high risk of injuries when installing a rearward facing CRS. And yes, it was not offered with isofix anchorage points, which is why it scored 2 stars for child occupant protection. And many people also know that Ford is no longer here in India, as they have already stopped the production and shut every operations in India. So you cannot really able to have any new Ford car, and that's a bit of a sad thing. But Ford will be offering to the existing customers who have been using a Ford car, which is actually quite good. At number 15, we have Maruti Suzuki Ertiga. Now, this is one of the very practical MPVs which are available here in India, but it's not safe because it scored 3 stars in adult occupant protection and 3 stars for child occupant protection, which is still fair but not the best. And in terms of points, it scored 9.25 out of 17 for adult and 25.16 out of 49 for child occupant protection. The body shell integrity was rated unstable and wasn't capable of withstanding further load. In fact, even the footwell area was rated as unstable. This car was equipped with safety features like driver frontal airbag, front passenger airbag, seatbelt reminder as standard, isofix anchorage points, 4-channel ABS, and driver's side front seatbelt protectioners. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver and passenger's head and neck was good. Driver's chest showed marginal protection while passenger's chest showed good protection. Driver and passenger's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. This car does come with seatbelt reminder as standard, but the passenger side pre-tensioners failed to work properly during the test. The child seat for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with isofix and top tether and was able to prevent excessive forward movement, and also did offer good protection for the head and fair protection to the chest. The 18-month-old child seat did not really able to prevent excessive forward movement and did actually offer poor protection for the head and chest as well. At number 14, we have the Renault Duster. It is one of the very tough and robust SUVs that Indians did like, but as it isn't really well updated and doesn't come with any new equipment, it definitely is now slowing down in terms of sales. But with single driver airbag, it scored 3 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. In terms of points, it scored 9 out of 17 for adult and 17.75 out of 49 for child occupant protection. This car's body shell integrity was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load. When Global NCAP crash tested the Duster before, it was rated 0 because it did not have any safety features. And this version with the driver side airbag did offer 3 stars only. Now the updated Duster which is on sale does get all the safety features as standard as per the Indian government's safety regulations. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver's head was adequate due to unstable airbag contact. The driver's chest protection was rated weak, passenger's head protection was rated good, and chest protection was marginal. The front passenger's knees could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. The child seat for the 3-year-old child was unable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact. The recommended CRS did not show incompatibility. The instructions of installation for both child seats were insufficient and was not permanently attached to the seat. That is why it really did score 2 stars for child occupant protection. And now we come at number 13, we have Kia's best-selling SUV Seltos. Yeah, it's the one which split into two and did kill a lot of passengers inside, which is a bit awful. It scored 8.03 out of 17 with 3 stars for adult and 15 out of 49 for child occupant protection with 2 stars. The body shell integrity was rated unstable and wasn't capable of withstanding further load. It even also had an unstable footwell. In terms of safety features, it was equipped with driver airbag, passenger airbag, front seatbelt pretensioners, seatbelt reminder, and 4-channel ABS. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver and passenger's head was adequate. Both driver and passenger's head bottomed out the airbags. Both adult passengers' neck protection was rated good. Driver's chest showed marginal protection, while passenger's chest showed good protection. Driver and passenger's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. Driver's legs showed weak and adequate protection, while passengers' legs showed good and adequate protection. In terms of child occupant protection, the child seat for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with the adult belt and was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, while it offered good protection to the head as it contacted with the interior of the car and good protection to the chest. The 18-month-old CRS was installed with the adult belt rearward facing. The head showed good protection and chest was showed protected very well. And the CRS did not show incompatibility, and the manufacturer also even refused to recommend CRS. That is why it was rated 2 stars. It also even was not offered with 3-point seat belts in all sitting positions and also no isofix child seat anchorage points, which is a bit of a shame. Another car that comes at number 13, which is also hot selling car for the Indian market, is Maruti Suzuki Swift. It scored 7.08 out of 17 for adult occupant protection with 2 stars and 16.23 out of 49 for child occupant protection with 2 stars. The body shell integrity was rated as unstable here. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver and passenger's head and neck was good. Driver's chest showed weak protection while passenger's chest showed adequate protection. Driver's knees showed marginal protection and passenger's knees showed good and adequate protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. This car does come with standard seatbelt reminder for the driver, but it does not meet the minimum requirements. The child seat for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with isofix and top tether and was able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact while it offered good protection to the head and marginal protection to the chest. The 18-month-old CRS was installed with isofix and top tether, but it actually did not got any good protection to the head and chest as well. This car even doesn't come with 3-point seat belts at all, and though it does get isofix child seat mounts as standard, it still really isn't perfect. You will see more Maruti cars in this list because they have scored very poor in terms of crash test protection. At number 11, we have Hyundai Grand i10 Neos. It's a car we did not expect it to come in this unsafe cars list, but it actually did not perform quite well. It scored 2 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. Much similar to the Swift though. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load. And even also the footwell area was rated unstable. This car was equipped with safety features as standard like driver airbag, passenger airbag, front seatbelt pretensioners, 4-channel ABS, and seatbelt reminder. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver and passenger's head and neck was rated good. Driver's chest showed weak protection while passenger's chest showed adequate protection. Driver's and passenger's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. And even driver's legs showed marginal protection to adequate protection and passengers showed adequate protection. The child seat for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with the adult seatbelt and was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, while it offered poor protection to the head and fair protection to the chest. The 18-month-old CRS was installed with the adult belt rearward facing, and it showed good protection for the head and fair protection to the chest. The manufacturer did refuse to recommend CRS, and the CRS did not show incompatibility. It was not offered with 3-point seat belts on all seating positions and was not equipped with ISOFIX child seat mounts, which is a shame. I don't really know why ISOFIX child seat anchorage points are being skipped by these manufacturers. For saving cost, well, it simply looks a bit stupid. At number 10, we have another Maruti Suzuki car. A hot selling car is Wagoner. It scored 2 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. In terms of points, it scored 6.93 out of 17 for adult and 16.33 out of 49 for child occupant protection. It had an unstable body structure and it cannot withstand further load, and even footwell area was rated as unstable. In terms of safety features, it came with driver side airbag, seatbelt reminder, and 4-channel ABS. Apart from that, nothing else was offered. The protection offered to the driver and passenger's head was good. The neck for the drivers showed good protection while passengers showed adequate protection. Driver and passenger's chest showed weak protection. Driver and passenger's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. And in terms of child occupant protection, the 3-year-old child was installed forward facing with adult seatbelt and was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, with head contracting the front seat. The 3-year-old child restraint system failed during the test. The 18-month-old CRS was installed with adult seatbelt rearward facing and it offered good protection for the head and vulnerable for the chest. CRS marking was not permanent, and of course, the CRS did not show incompatibility and wasn't offered with 3-point seat belts in all sitting positions. And also, it was not coming with ISOFIX child seat anchorage points. So, is it really even Dil Se strong? I don't really think so. And it is actually really a good chance for Tata Motors as well, who were absolutely going on trolling this Maruti Suzuki because of having poor ratings. And you can clearly see but in the pictures how Tata was actually trolling them. At number 9, we have another Hyundai, and that is also one of the popular hatchbacks, and it is a close rival to the Wagoner, and it's called the Santro. And it scored 2 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. In terms of points, it scored 6.74 out of 17 for adult and 15 out of 49 for child occupant protection. So, yes, just like Hyundai Granite Neos scored similar to the Swift in terms of ratings, the Santro also scored almost the same as the Wagoner, which is absolutely unexpected. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and wasn't capable of withstanding further load, and its footwell area was rated as unstable. In terms of safety features, it comes with driver airbag, seatbelt reminder for the driver, and 4-channel ABS. After 2019, the Santro does now come with all the safety features as standard. The protection offered to the driver and passenger's head and neck was good. Driver's chest showed weak protection while passenger's chest was rated marginal. Driver and passenger's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. In terms of child occupant protection, the manufacturer declined to recommend child restraint system for the test, so the dynamic points were rated as big fat 0. The CRS for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with adult seatbelt and was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, and the head of the dummy contacted the seat. The 18-month-old CRS was installed with adult seatbelt rearward facing, which offered good protection to the child dummy. The recommended CRS did not show any incompatibility, and the vehicle does not offer 3-point seatbelts in all sitting positions. It's a bit disappointing that this, one of the favorite cars, is actually really rated very unsafe. A bit shame though. At number 8, we have the Datsun Ready Go. Yes, it looks good and it's a pretty city friendly car, but it's never really good in terms of safety. It scored only 1 star for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. But in terms of points, it really has shocked the Wagoner and Santro, and it could really even shocked the Swift as well because it scored 8.36 out of 17 for adult and 15.63 out of 49 for child occupant protection. Wow, that was quite interesting, but still not really satisfying. It had an unstable body structure and was not capable of withstanding further load. Even the footwell area was rated as unstable. In terms of safety features, it only came with driver side airbag and 4-channel ABS. There was nothing else. But after 2019, The Ready Go, which came with a facelift, does get all the safety features as standard. The protection offered to the driver's head was adequate, while protection was offered to the passenger's head was good. Both adult passengers' neck protection was good. Driver's chest showed poor protection, which led to a limited 1-star rating. Passenger's chest protection was marginal. Driver's knees showed marginal protection, and passenger's knees showed adequate to marginal, as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard. In terms of child occupant protection, the child seat for the 3-year-old was installed forward facing with the adult belt and was not capable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, while it offered poor protection to the head and fair protection to the chest. The 18-month-old child restraint system was installed with adult belt rearward facing, and the head contacted the front seat and offered fair protection to the chest. The CRS showed incompatibility as the car had 3-point static seat belts in the rear outboard seats, and it doesn't come with isofix child seat mounts and no 3-point seat belts as well. So yes, a basic car with basic safety features doesn't score that much points either. At number 7, we have Renault Kwid 4. Now, why I say 4? Well, that's because this is one of the only cars from Global NCAP which has been tested not one, not two, not three, but even 4 times. Yes, at 4th time only, it scored something, but it was not satisfying. It scored 1 star for adult occupant protection and just 1 star for child occupant protection. In the first 3 tests of the Kwid, it scored nearly 0 or even 1 or 2 stars, but at last, at 4th test, it scored only 1 star. But in terms of points, it was still better than the Wagoner and Santro yet again. But in terms of child occupant protection, at 10.91 out of 49 was lower than the Ready Go. But in 8.28 points out of 17 for adult occupant protection, it was slightly better. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load. In terms of safety features, it does get front seatbelt protectors and driver frontal airbag, and that's about it. But the rest of the safety features, which was not offered previously, is now coming as standard in the updated Kwid, which is a good thing. And the good thing is that dual airbags are standard across the range, and it's not coming as an option like Maruti, who is actually still offering like that. The protection offered to the driver head and neck by the airbag was good. However, the protection to the chest due to high chest compression was poor, and passengers' chest received weak protection as well. Could really be fighting for life though. The passengers' knees could impact with dangerous structures in the dashboard as well. It was confirmed that Renault added reinforcements in structure, but oddly for the driver's side only and not for the passenger side. So will passenger side will be only losing its life or what? The child seat for the 3-year-old child was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, and the biomechanical readings were rated high. The dynamic performance of 18-month-old child allowed head contact with the frontal backrest, and biomechanical readings were rated high. The installation instructions on both child seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. The static 3-point seat belts in the rear seats made more difficult for a proper installation of the CRS, which is actually a bit disappointing. But yes, it's good that the Kwid, which is updated, doesn't come with the static seat belts anymore. It's just too basic.
4 hours later.
The Renault Kwid, which is sold in Africa, is actually made in India and then sold to African markets. And that actually scored 2 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. This is what really we think is actually really the current ratings for this updated Kwid. But it is actually surprisingly better than the older car, but it is actually even better than its rival, which I will be telling you just in a bit, so stick around. But it's still not perfect though. At number 6, we have another Maruti Suzuki car, Eco, and it did not got any star ratings for the adult occupant protection, but it got 1.13 out of 17 here and got 2 stars for child occupant protection, but it scored 24.20 out of 49, which is slightly better than the Wagoner and Santro. Well, it seems to look like as there is so many Maruti Suzuki cars lined up here in unsafe cars list, which is ridiculous. And in terms of body style integrity, it was rated unstable here. In terms of safety features, just forget it because it doesn't get any safety features at all.
What?
And it does get driver side airbag, 4-channel ABS, seatbelt reminder, and maybe seatbelt protectioners. In the updated Eco, well, it should be. The protection offered to the driver's chest was poor and head protection was weak because obviously there was no airbag to save it. The passenger's knees could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard, and also due to the shock absorbers which were mounted mainly from the driver's side could even really have maximum amount of injuries. The child seat for the 3-year-old child was able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact. However, the biomechanical readings were above the limits. The dynamic performance of the 18-month-old child restraint was adequate. However, the installation instructions on both child seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. Both CRS were compatible with the belt system on the vehicle, and yes, it was not equipped with passenger side airbag. But thankfully, this is far better than the Omni, which has been discontinued and is no longer available because that car is absolutely unsafe. Feels like paper is crushed, just like the Omni, which crushes like a paper. And at number 5, we have, well, I don't have to say that again. It's again from the same company with 50% market share, the Alto. It scored 0 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. And in terms of points, it scored 0 out of 17 for adult and 17.57 out of 49 for child occupant protection. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load at all. Which is true because this is actually a small car that has been made to just crumble. In terms of safety features, just forget that. It doesn't get any safety features at all. But it's all offered in the updated Alto, but there are few optional variants which you don't have to consider that. Don't consider it. The protection offered to the driver head was poor due to hard contact with the steering wheel, and that's for the reason why it scored 0 stars. Also, driver's neck received poor protection. Chest protection also was poor due to high compression. Passenger's chest protection was rated adequate, and both front passengers' knees could impact with dangerous structures in the dashboard, and that's why it scored 0. The child seat for the 3-year-old child was unable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact. The dynamic performance of the child restraints was adequate. However, the installation instructions on both child seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. The recommended CRS did not show any incompatibilities with the belt system on the vehicle. And definitely, this car is absolutely very crap. Just don't go with this car. It's better to have a Tata Tiago at this price, which is at 5 lakh rupees. You can have a base variant and gets all the safety features as standard than just having the Alto. So it's better to put your money on the Tiago and not in the Alto, which has very poor level of safety. And at number 4, we have Mahindra Scorpio. Just wait. Mahindra Scorpio? Why is that here in this unsafe car list? Well, that's because this actually scored very poor ratings here. It scored 0 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. In terms of points, it scored 0 out of 17 for adult and 16.73 out of 49 for child. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated as unstable. In terms of safety features, just don't expect any safety features because this version was not equipped with any safety features. But it is now updated in the all new Scorpio, which comes with a lot of safety features. The protection offered to the driver's head and chest was poor, and passenger's chest received marginal protection. The passenger's knees could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard too. The child seat for 3-year-old was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, and the biomechanical readings were above the limit. The dynamic performance of the 18-month-old child restraint was adequate. However, installation instructions on both child seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. Both CRS was compatible with the seatbelt on the vehicle, or let's say the belt system on the vehicle. It's good that Mahindra and Mahindra has been focusing on safety, and cars like XUV 300, Murazo, Thar, and of course we really hope that the upcoming Scorpio and the XUV 700, which is on sale, should really be scoring 5 stars. Yes, this is really what we are always really looking for, and Tata and Mahindra, they really are doing absolutely good job this time when it comes to safety. We are keenly waiting for the new Scorpio to come, and we also really hope it should get 5 stars when Global NCAP crash tests this car. At number 3, now we have Datsun's Go. It was one of the first car from Datsun which just really was so bare bones. It was not having any features, no safety features at all. That is why it scored 0 stars for adult occupant protection but 2 stars for child occupant protection. Doesn't it look like as this car will only save child but not the adults? A bit weird though. But in terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and isn't capable of withstanding further load. In terms of points, for adult occupant protection, it scored 0 out of 17, and for child, it scored 15.06 out of 49. In terms of safety features, just don't expect because it is not really even offered with any safety features when it was crash tested. But the new one, the updated one, does get all the safety features as standard from the base variant, which is actually quite good. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver's head and chest was rated very poor, and due to the not having any airbag and hitting to the steering wheel hard, is what really it scored 0 star. Passengers' chest showed adequate protection, and both front passengers' knees could impact with dangerous structures in the dashboard. The child seat for 3-year-old was unable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact, and the dynamic performance of child restraints were adequate. Installation instructions on both seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. CRS was showing incompatibilities with the belt system on the vehicle here. So yeah, it might have gotten better, but this is what really it was previously. At number 2, we have a car that I hate the most and it doesn't look the best at all. And of course, it's a pretty crap. It's Maruti Suzuki Espresso and scored a disappointing 0 stars for adult occupant protection and 2 stars for child occupant protection. In terms of points, it scored 0 out of 17 for adult and 13.84 out of 49 for child. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load. And even footwell area was rated unstable. In terms of safety features, it only comes with driver airbag, seatbelt reminder, and 4-channel ABS. In terms of adult occupant protection, it offered good protection for the driver and passenger's head, while neck protection for the driver was adequate and passengers was a bit poor, which explains 2 stars. The chest for the driver was poor, and while chest protection for the passenger showed weak protection. Driver's knees showed marginal protection as it could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard, but it was good for the passenger side knees. Driver's legs showed weak and marginal protection, while passenger's legs showed adequate protection. In terms of child occupant protection, for 3-year-old, it was installed forward face with adult seatbelt and was not able to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact over the 550 mm limit. 18-month-old CRS was installed with the adult seatbelt rearward facing with poor protection for the head as it was exposed and vulnerable for the chest. The CRS marking was permanent only for the Q3 CRS. The recommended CRS did not show incompatibility and the vehicle does not offer 3-point seat belts on all sitting positions and there is even no ISOFIX child seat anchorage points. Yes, this is the car that rivals the Renault Kwid, which by the way is slightly better rated than this just ugly looking car. Just don't buy this car because this is absolutely unsafe. Never buy this. Don't buy at all. And now we come at number 1, which again is from the same company but it has been discontinued. It's the Maruti Suzuki Celerio, which scored 0 stars for adult occupant protection and just 1 star for child occupant protection. It did not had any points, so it scored 0 out of 17 for adult and 11.53 out of 49 for child occupant protection. In terms of body shell integrity, it was rated unstable and cannot withstand further load. In terms of safety features, there is no safety features at all, but the updated model did had some safety features as standard. In terms of adult occupant protection, the driver's head, neck and chest was rated poor and passenger's chest received marginal protection. The passenger's knees could impact with dangerous structures behind the dashboard as well. The child seat for 3-year-old was not capable to prevent excessive forward movement during the impact and biomechanical readings were above the limits. The dynamic performance of 18-month-old child restraint was adequate. However, the installation instructions on both child seats were insufficient and not permanently attached to the seat. Both CRS were compatible with the belt system on the vehicle. The vehicle also was not equipped with any airbags either. So yeah, you really can able to see that this car doesn't even score that well, but it's one of the only cars that was not based on the hard tech platform, and the cars such as the Alto and Eco are also not based on that platform, but the other cars which Maruti Suzuki have actually really built are based on the hard tech platform, which haven't been performing quite well. So these are all the 16 cars that has been crash tested by Global NCAP, and I for one never really put my money on any of the Maruti Suzuki cars at all, which has performed very poorly and are not really made to save our life. They are actually really been designed to just save fuel, which is not really good though. So it's high time to now have safe cars over unsafe cars, and definitely we should really move forward towards safety this time around. And please do subscribe to my channel for more updates as well.